Welcome to CodePulse AI. In this video, we will cover several fundamental Python concepts, including data types, numbers, casting, strings, Booleans, and operators. Python's built-in data types help classify and manage different values. They are important because they define what kind of data a variable can store, support different operations, and help in writing efficient, error-free programs. Data types are categorized into text, numeric, and sequence types. The text type, _str, stores text like hello world. Numeric types include int, for whole numbers, float, for decimals, and complex, for complex numbers. Sequence types like list, and tuple, store ordered collections, and range, provides a sequence of numbers. Other important data types include the mapping type, dict, which stores key value pairs, set types for unordered unique values, and the Boolean type, bool, for true or false values. Binary types handle binary data, and the none type, represents a null value. Python numbers are used for numeric values and mathematical operations. The three main types are int, for whole numbers like 10, float, for decimal numbers like 10.5, and complex, for numbers with real and imaginary parts, such as 3 plus 5j. You can check a number's data type using the type, function. Type conversion allows changing between number types using int, float, or complex, Python also supports standard math operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus, and exponentiation. Python casting converts one data type into another, useful for changing a variable's type. Key casting functions include int, converting to an integer, float, converting to a float, and str, converting to a string. For example, casting a float to an int truncates the decimal. Casting is used to perform operations correctly, match required data types, and convert user input into numbers. Python strings store text data and are enclosed in single or double quotes. Strings are arrays of characters, and individual characters can be accessed using index numbers. You can also loop through a string to process each character. The length of a string can be found with the len, function. Useful string methods include upper, and lower, strip, replace, and split, String concatenation uses the plus operator, and f-strings are used for formatting and inserting values. Python Booleans represent either true or false, and are used in conditions and decision-making statements. The bool, function converts values to Boolean results. Examples show that non-empty strings and non-zero numbers are true, while empty strings and zero are false. Python operators are symbols used to perform operations. Arithmetic operators are for mathematical calculations and include addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus, exponent, and floor division. Comparison operators are used to compare values. These include equal to, equals, not equal to, equals, greater than, greater than, less than, equals, and less than or equal to, Logical operators combine conditions. The and operator returns true if both statements are true. Or returns true if one is true. Not reverses the result. Assignment operators assign values to variables, such as equals, Combined assignment operators like plus equals and equals perform an operation and assignment simultaneously. Identity operators, is and is not compare the memory location of objects. Membership operators check if a value exists within a sequence. The in operator returns true if the value is present, while not in returns true if the value is not present in the object.
Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.